All right, all right, all right. Rivet athletes, it is Wednesday. I got the board out. There's a whole lot of writing on it. We're going to get a little bit technical today in the explanation. Don't let any of that scare you off, though. Great workout today. You should be here. It's Wednesday. What else are you going to do? Main workout today that everybody is doing is kind of a pretty short workout today. We're looking for, I think, 6 to 10 minutes or so, something like that. So on the shorter side. Let me explain that first. We have one round, right? This is just one time through. Everybody starts on the rower. We got 40 for the fellas, 30 for the ladies. Get that done. Then we have some snatches in the middle. So a couple options here for our CrossFit athletes who are barbell proficient. We're going to do 20 barbell snatches. If you are, again, proficient at the squat snatch, let's go ahead and turn those into squat snatches. Probably, something using a weight that you could cycle if you had to, but you're probably going to go quick singles today with squat snatches. If you are not super efficient or comfortable with squat snatches, we're going to turn those into 20 power snatches. Probably breaking those up into smaller sets, choosing a weight. We can probably go at least, touch and go sets of 3 to 5 or so. So either squat snatch or power snatch for our barbellers. And then for our Fit 30 and Fit 45 athletes with a dumbbell, we're going to go 40 total reps on our dumbbell snatch. We're going to switch hands each rep as we do, accumulating 20 on each side for a total of 40 with kind of a medium weight dumbbell today. And then when everybody's done with their snatches in the middle part of the workout, we head back to the rower and do the exact same thing we started, 40 and 30 calories on the row. As far as pacing goes and a plan, right? We're going to go a little more controlled pace on that first row, of course, because we don't want to be totally winded when we get off the rower, and then we have to kind of lift those weights. We've got to snatch those weights. So, control your pace on the first row. Try to get to the snatches pretty quickly, like I said, breaking up, as I mentioned earlier, and then we'll pick up the pace a little bit on that last row, knowing that's the last thing we have to do. It's still a fairly beefy row, though, so don't, go flying out of the gate. But kind of pick up your pace as you go across. Something like this, I would probably break up into 10 calorie increments, right? Kind of start out, control the first 10 calories and a little bit faster, the next calorie a little bit faster, and finish with a nice strong 10 calories to finish out the workout. So, workout for everybody right there. And then, of course, as you can see, got a bunch of other stuff on the board for our CrossFitters today. We're doing some squat, snatch, overhead squat type technique practice. For our more experienced lifters, this will be, we're building up to a heavy complex. For our less experienced, this is a time to put less weight on the bar and practice on technique in order to get more comfortable with the lift so we can, at future times, working on those heavy complexes and some snatches. Now the technical part, so talking about speed through the movement, talking about power production, both the snatch and the rower are a very full body, core to extremity type movement. We have to produce power. We have to use that force in a controlled manner using a certain tempo, if you will, or speed throughout the movement, right? It's not, neither of these movements are just kind of go as hard as you can. You actually have to kind of use technique and timing to get the most efficiency in both these movements. So real quick, I have some graphs on the board right here. We're actually going to use something called a force curve graph. It's on our rower. We're going to use that today in the warm-up, and it's going to help us be more efficient rowers. So real quick, and you'll see this in the gym tomorrow, but basically we have, you can row well or you can row not so well. What this force curve does is basically shows if you are applying force evenly throughout the entire stroke, right? This is what we want. We want a nice evenly applied force. So I have two bad curves right here at the top and one good curve at the bottom. So this one right here, this is one for people who start really strong on the stroke. They drive back hard and then they just kind of peter off. So you get this big peak and then goes down, right? Not so good. They're applying a lot of force at the beginning of the stroke and then just not so much. This one, we have this looks kind of like a little mountain range when you see it, right? It goes up, and then back down again. This usually shows that the person is not applying force smoothly from the transition from the legs to the hips to the arms. Usually this dip right here is because the hips aren't really doing much. They're pushing with the legs and then they're pulling with the arms, but they're not opening up those hips in such a fashion that it transfers that force smoothly through the entire body. This is kind of the ideal curve right here. Kind of goes up, right? Kind of not a huge peak right at the beginning. It kind of peaks more in the middle of the stroke and then smoothly comes back down again. This is sort of the gold standard of our first curve. Sorry, I moved the board there. You can't see it. There we go. So we'll play around with that a little bit in the warm-up today. And then real quick with our snatch, we're going to do some snatch drills, and this applies to both dumbbell and barbell. We want most of our speed in this one. This is slightly different than the row. The row, we want a nice even application of force all the way through. With the snatch, we kind of want, it's like two different speeds, right? So we talk about from the floor, you can't see me here, but from the floor, and again, this is dumbbell or barbell. From the floor, we want a nice smooth pull to the knees, right? We do not go quickly off the floor. We don't do the old grip and rip, if you will. So we have nice and smooth through the knees, and then when we really want to speed it up, it's through the middle part of the movement, right? From the knees on up. That's when we start accelerating. The dumbbells, the barbell, whatever it is we are snatching, gets to the knees after we've kind of spooled it nice and smoothly. Ideally, we're in a good position. That's when the speed really kicks in to get that weight up overhead. We'll also drill that a little bit today. So it's all about power production, using force, using timing, and doing it just right. So we are going to get a little technical. We're going to practice the movements. We're going to dial them in, and you guys are going to get a great workout, okay? So what else are you going to do today? Come on in. See you later.